It's another Wednesday afternoon from wherever you are. I know this is a conversation that we've been really longing to have with my longtime friend, a brother to me. We've grown up together. Well, he's the first person on my channel to interview, so I believe this will be very good and very interesting. So without any further ado, allow me to let him introduce himself. Elvis, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really humbled to be here. So my name is Elvis Kipiego Kurir Langas. Yeah, like Felix has just said, we're very good friends from way back, and we have a very good history together. And I'm really honored to be on this platform to share what my story is coming to Australia. And I'm hoping somebody will pick up something from this interview, and
sure.
it would actually change someone's life for you. Yeah. So I'm really glad to be here. Thank you. I'm from Goulburn, which is in New South Wales, but I'm here for a walk training, luckily. So I'm here for a week, and yeah, I thought if I'm here for a week, why not? We can do this. We've been longing to do this for a long while, so yeah.
Sure. I'm so grateful to have you, Elvis, here.
Yeah.
And may you tell us where you grew up, where you schooled, how your life was when you were growing up, and all that.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up back in Kenya, and I was born in Uasin Gishu, Eldoret. But then I was raised in Kericho and Nandi Hills majorly. That's for my younger years. So I started off school in Kericho Primary School up to class 4. Then went ahead to Nandi Hills Academy from class 4 to 8. And for class 9, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I went to class 9 in Teresia Boarding Primary School.
Yeah.
That's somewhere in Chepteroi. And yeah, after that, I performed fairly well in KCP. Went to high school, Kapsabet High.
Yeah.
And after Kapsabet High, I went to Moy University. And then I came to Australia.
Oh,
That's
wow.
pretty much my journey growing up. Yeah. When I went to Moy University after finishing high school, I studied actuarial science. So I did a bachelor's degree in actuarial science, and yeah, that's what I did. When I
That's
went to Moy
interesting.
University.
So how was the journey? How was campus life a bit?
Well, other people would know that in campus I was a little bit active.
Yeah.
I was a student leader for
Amazing.
2 years in Moy University, and I actually campaigned to be the school president, the campus president, but I didn't get it. I ended up getting a different post, yeah. Some people know the story,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that's what I did in campus, and I studied Bachelor of Actuarial Science, and I was a very active person. I would play sports. I used to play rugby once in a while, but not that serious as we used to do in high
Yeah,
school.
I know. I
but
remember
yeah.
even when you were in Moya, you was in Ligaton actually.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So we used to at least have talks and just random conversation and catching up. Even at the time that you were vying for the presidency, I remember you told me about it, and it was
It was a learning experience. I didn't get it, but I learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's campus life.
Yeah.
So after campus, what were you doing?
After campus, if you recall, that was back in 2017. So I was just home, and we were majorly just helping. I was helping out my family with the tea business. Yeah, that's for the whole year because I never got actually formally employed. I never got a sort of a job, but for the entire time I was home, I was helping out the family with tea business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what pushed you to move to Australia?
Since when I was in high school, I really wanted to go abroad or study abroad. And back then, I wanted to go to the US because my brother and his family were there. And I used to look at their pictures or look at what they were doing, and I'd really imagine myself being there. I really wanted to go abroad because they kind of looked like they had a better life, you know.
Yeah.
And well, having come here, I know I treasure home. I treasure the fact that we come from Kenya and all. But yeah, definitely there is a very good. I can say there are many stuff that are better here. Yeah, but then I'm still truly Kenyan, and I know eventually I'll go back home. But yeah.
So how was the process? Can you take us through the process? How was it?
It was a very long process. I can tell you that for sure. For people who are planning to come, I'm not discouraging you, but the best thing is being real with the reality, and then that way you can slowly start applying for it. It's very possible. There are very many opportunities, and it's a very good opportunity, but it requires a lot of patience. because I've seen many people who put high expectations or a lot of anxiety, and then when things don't go the way they should go, they get depressed, and then maybe some of them they lose the determination to do this. But I can tell you for sure from my story, I was determined, like very determined, that nothing would stop me from applying to come here. So the process was lengthy, and I applied through a Kenyan agency, in Eldoret, and they did everything for me, up to including the flight. So literally everything, from visa application, from well, I did the passports by myself, and I did the driving license by myself. These are the things we probably tell our viewers that they need to get these before they get to the visa stage. So you need to get a driving license, you need to get a passport, and you need to get your English exams. So usually the agency can help you do passport and the English exams, but you can do it by yourself if you want. You can apply for it and book exams and do it. So that's where I started from. I did my
So for anyone who's planning to move to Australia, there are a number of things that you really need them before you come here. Number one,
passport.
Number two,
Driving license.
Number three, very important as well, is the
English exam.
English exam, and also the international police check.
Yeah.
That's one thing that it's really needed here. When you come here, they need that before they give you a police check here, because no one knows you from here. You've never been here, so no one knows your criminal history. So basically, that's really one of the key things, very important, that you need when you're planning to move here. So okay, keep going.
So well, passport application, it's pretty easy. Go to eCitizen, apply for it, or you can use the agency. Costs you about 6,000 to 7,000 for a decent passport. If you do driving license, I think it costs you about 10,000 or something to and what was the other one? English exams. Last I checked, I'm pretty sure it's ranging from 20 to 25,000 just to book for the exam. Yeah, so that's the figure estimates, and I think some agencies offer coaching lessons, and if I'm not wrong, it will be about 5,000 to 10,000 on average for most agencies. Depends with the agency.
So what's the pass mark for English test?
The pass mark for English test depends with what you're coming to study. So if you're coming to study degree, you probably get away with 6.5 and above. If you're coming to study masters, you'll probably need a 7, and make sure that all your bands are higher than 7. And also it varies with what course you're coming to do. There are other courses where you need a higher band score or a higher overall score. So there are some that you actually don't need an English exam. There are visa options where you don't need to do English.
Okay, that's good. That's interesting. What else do you really need for you to
So,
do the process here?
So person X has already gotten his visa, his passport, his driver's license, his English exams, and the police clearance. And that person needs to go to the agent to apply for a school. You can either go to the agent or do it yourself, but it's much easier when the agent does this. So look for a school and apply for the school. Usually most schools will respond and give you a conditional offer if your qualifications fit. The conditional offer will be asking you to provide your previous qualification, which will be the one that you just finished. If you're applying for degree, that would mean your KCSE. If you're applying for masters, that would mean your degree. And they will also require you to pay school fees for 1 semester. So once you fulfill those 2 conditions, they give you another offer, a letter of offer that you can now use that one. That's a certificate of enrollment. You can use that one to apply for visa.
Okay,
so it's a process.
What's the rough estimate of the school fees that one's supposed to pay?
Depends on the course you're coming to do. I'm thinking, but don't quote me on this, but certificate diplomas, they would range probably something about from, say, 500,000 to maybe 800.
Kenyan shillings.
I think so. Yeah, but I mean, it's very hard to get a course below 400,000. I doubt if you get something 300,000 and below now. So degrees would be almost, depending on what course you're doing, stuff like nurses, they're pretty expensive. Elite courses like nurses, nursing rather, you probably be talking about 1.2. But most degrees will be on average of maybe, say what, 800 to a million, maybe. And then Master's degree starts from 1 million all the way to up to 1.9. Depends on the uni.
That's
1.9, 2 million, depends on the uni you're going to. These are just rough estimates. Don't quote us on this, but these are just rough estimates, and you can research more to get the exact figures. But I'm just giving you estimates. That way, you can you can plan yourself mentally before you get down to actually seriously looking for school.
And does it mean that you need all that money
Um,
when you start the process, right?
you will probably need the first semester fee.
Yep.
And if the first semester fee is about 800,000, you have to pay that before you come here, because that's the only way you're gonna get a certificate of enrollment, and then now you can apply for a visa. But good news, that will be a struggle to get for some people. But after you're done with that, once you get here, if you're a hard worker, you should be able to raise the rest of the school fees just by yourself.
Yep.
So that's the biggest hurdle. If you can go past the first hurdle, the rest of the semesters, like I've done it, like I know many people have done it, yourself
Yep,
you've
I
done
did,
it, it's very possible to raise that amount of money if you are a very diligent, hardworking person. Yeah.
So my advice to people first is, if you're planning to come here, the best thing to do, pay your school fees. So I've seen some people come here, they paid half the school fees, expecting to get a job when they get here immediately. But the truth is, when you come here, you have 3 to 4 months for you to get a job. So if you haven't cleared the school fees, it will be hard. I've seen people struggling and asking for help because they came here, the agents told them that you can just pay half, then you'll just pay the rest when you get here. But my advice is, just pay full semester school fees before you come here. That it will save you a lot of struggles and stress when you get here. So let's keep going, my Elvis.
Yeah.
So how was it after getting the COE? What else? What's the next step that you need to do?
So after you get the COE, the next step will be to apply for a visa.
Yep.
And a student visa costs about $600, which if translated to Kenya would be about 48 to 50,000,
Yeah.
maybe. And the other thing is, now that will be somewhere where it calls for your patience,
Yeah.
because there are waiting times for different visa options and visa.
Before
Yeah.
you go to, I think there's medicals.
Oh yeah,
And
sorry.
also the
Yeah.
biometrics.
So once you get the COE and you make the application for a visa,
Yeah.
the Department of Immigration will respond asking you to provide the biometrics and your medicals.
Yeah.
So medicals, you'll be applying. I think they will send you to Nairobi. Most likely the British Council, but it depends. It could I don't know. It will just be a nominated hospital by the Australian
Yeah.
government, where you can go and provide your samples, and they do a test on you, and if everything is alright, you'll get your medical results back. Then that result, you send it back to immigration. Like, your agent can do this, your agent can handle all this, and your biometrics too. When you submit your biometrics, I think those ones get transmitted directly to the immigration department in Australia. So, but your medicals, the medical center might send it directly, but you'll get a copy of the result. I'm pretty sure about that. So once you get that, once you've done that bit, I think you now go to the waiting period, where you wait for the government to assess all your paperwork, all the things that you've provided, which includes, we almost forgot, is bank statements if needed.
Yeah.
So unis in Australia are categorized into levels. There's level 1 unis, level 2, level 3s.
Yep.
This is information that agents will tell you. And level 1 unis, most of them, these are very super elite unis where you probably don't even need to provide a bank statement.
Okay.
I came with one.
Yeah.
I came with Australian National University, and I didn't have to provide a bank statement at first.
I was lucky as well.
Yeah, it depends on the uni you get. So sometimes you get lucky, and there's level 2 unis where it's a decent uni, reputable, but you have to provide a bank statement. And then there's level 3, which most likely are colleges and privately owned unis, where, to be honest, and not to speak ill of anyone, but you have to provide quite a chunk of bank statements.
Okay. So when you talk about the bank statement, what's the rough estimate of the bank that's
The bank statement means,
needed?
bank statement will always mean enough amount of money to cover your next semester fee and your living expenses. So there will be a rough calculation of what your living expenses is for the time that you will be in Australia. or the time that you're expected to finish school while in Australia, and your school fees. So that's how the figures for the bank statements are arrived at.
So that's
it
roughly 3 million.
if it's a degree,
Yep.
probably about 3 million,
Yep.
or less. Degree or masters, it floats around there. If you come down to a certificate or diploma, they're probably asking for 2 million or something. But I've never seen a bank statement beyond 4 or 5 million. Yeah.
And with the statement, does it need to be an immediate family member, or you can just get a statement from anyone?
I think they prefer immediate family members, because the meaning of the bank statement is, in the event you're not able to raise your school fees, that money should cover you. It should be able to be accessible to
Yep.
cover your expenses here and your school fees.
Yep.
So it has to be your relative, in that you can. It's presumed that your relative should be able to cover for you, especially immediate family. If it's bank statement from an immediate family,
Yeah.
that's even the best. But I think they have an allowance for relatives. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In some very peculiar and very few cases, you can use a person who's not a relative, but you'll have to have supporting statements and affidavits to make sure that this person is actually in a position to help you out if you get stuck.
Yep. Okay. So going back to the process, so you are now waiting for your.
Your visa
Visa,
response.
yeah.
Yeah.
So after receiving it, what's the next?
Once you receive your visa and you have been once you receive your visa grant letter,
Yep.
that's the thing. That's the major thing you're looking for. Once you get that, that means now you can go ahead and apply for book a flight.
Flight.
Yeah. So, warning, disclaimer: don't book a flight before you haven't gotten your
Your
visa.
visa. Yep.
If you do that, you stand a chance of losing the money that you pay to book that flight. So, get the visa first, and then and then book for the flight. So that's the other cost that's coming, booking your flight. Yeah. So, yeah, after you get the visa, you book the flight. After you book the flight, organize your accommodation if the school is not providing. That way, when you're coming through, you have somewhere you can stay.
You can stay.
Yeah.
Taking us through all that process, can you give us a rough, if for someone who doesn't know and thinking of starting the process, from the start, can we say what's the rough estimate that someone should be having in the account for them to start the process, or for the process to be complete up to the time you're booking your flight?
Okay. So we are talking generally about people applying for student visas.
Yep.
So for student visa, if you're applying for a certificate or a diploma, that means your previous qualification has to be KCSE.
Yep.
And we're talking about, first of all, there are things which are constants. The flight is constant, because you're looking at 150,000 to 200,000.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a flight.
The flight.
Yeah. So we're splitting this into flight, visa, pre-visa, before the visa, and then there's those small things about the driving license. So so that I can give a rough figure. So starting with the flight, 150 to 200,000. Visa application and whatnots, say about 60,000 or 70,000.
So that's around 20, was it 17,000 for the medicals?
28. 28,000. Yeah.
That's medicals. Yep.
Yeah, so 28,000 medical, around 40 to 50 for the visa,
Yep.
and biometrics. I think it's 4,000 or 5,000. So
something.
that's about 90,000. Say 100,000 for the whole visa
Yep.
process.
Yeah.
So that's 250 together with the flight.
Yeah.
And now the school fees,
School fees.
which on average, considering everything, I'll put it at 800 to 1 million. So let's talk about, let's say 1 million,
1 million.
just to be safe.
Yeah.
So that's what? We're talking about 1.2. We're at 1.2 now.
1.25, yeah.
All those other small issues like driving license, passport, 10, 15,000, maybe 20. So all up 1.3.
And what of the?
Or
Do you have
1.4.
any fee for the agent fee or something?
Oh yeah, well, you'll have agent fees definitely, probably 10,000 or 15,000 on average. So still, that looks like what, we're almost at 1.4 now.
Yeah. So you're now boarding your flight coming to Australia. So how the journey? What do you need to come with you? Do you need any upkeep money?
Depending on where you're getting accommodated or how you organize your accommodation. If you're coming and getting accommodated by family, it's a little bit easier. That's my experience. I had my brother here. I have two brothers here, so it was fairly easier for me. I didn't have to really worry about accommodation that much. But I had to head upkeep because you'll be traveling into a new territory. You've never been to Australia. You don't know what's gonna be happening once you get, like, the journey from the airport to wherever you're staying, or the journey from the airport to where you're meeting your brother, or when you're connecting flights.
Yeah.
For example, you're in Abu Dhabi connecting a flight to Australia, and something happens and you miss your flight. If you don't have any money on you, it's just gonna be nasty. So yeah, so you need to have upkeep money.
Yeah.
And I think when I came here first, I had 10,000 Kenyan shillings. That translated to about 150 Australian dollars, which is not much, but it definitely just kept me thinking that I'm okay. You know, I didn't have to panic. If you're not getting accommodated by family, you need to organize funds enough to pay rent for a few days.
Yeah.
And well, the first thing I'll advise you is try and find a fellow Kenyan or a fellow countrymate who's here, who can accommodate you for a few days as you organize yourself and as you know, like, familiarize yourself with the surrounding and know what's what.
Yep.
And then after a month or two, just you'll be on your own now. At least you've known the area. So you need to have upkeep money. So if you don't have any organized accommodation, you need to have more upkeep money,
Okay.
which will cover for the rent. Rent here are paid weekly, and most bills also are paid periodically. I think 3 months. Yeah, but the most important one is the rent. Yeah, because you could be in a shared accommodation, or you could be booking a unit or a house for yourself. So either way, you have to pay some money. So every week. So depending on what kind of accommodation you have organized, you'll have to definitely have some upkeep money.
Oh, that's fine. How long did it take you to feel that you are now able to support yourself? You are now able to be independent and able to maybe move out from your brother's house and live by yourself?
Yeah, clearly I've had it better than most people. Like, having family here to host you cuts the job by half.
Yeah, very true.
But if I were to talk about how long it took me, I'd say I stayed with them for almost a year plus. Yeah, I think it's roughly a year, almost two, and that's because it was definitely cost effective, and also the fact that we were bonding with family. Yeah, but I can tell you for sure, in a month or 2 months' time, if you're a very quick person and a quick learner, you should be able to be on your own. Like, I had that option, and it's just that things are much better staying with my brother. But in 2 months, if you're a hard worker, you probably already have a job. 3 months maybe, you can survive independently. I can say that with confidence that if you have a job, if you're a hardworking person, you should be able to get a job, and in 3 months' time, you should be able to live by yourself. The only setback to that is if you're raising your school fees, it could be a little bit tough.
I know, yeah.
Because paying rent and making savings at the same time, it calls for self-discipline in terms of making savings, of which many people, it's a struggle, and it also calls for actually being hardworking, because you have to do a very good number of jobs so that you can make decent money.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that if you're on student visa, you probably have restriction on work hours.
Work hours, exactly.
You're probably not allowed to work more than 20 hours a week, which cuts down on the amount of money you can earn. So, other people who don't have family feel left out, we probably should tell them that there's already more from whatever country you are from. There's definitely some countrymen who are here.
Exactly.
Because Australia is a very diverse country with people from all over, and it's just a matter of reaching out, trying to find out who can help. Yeah, just reach out. Like, personally, right now, I'm not going to be restricting that the only people I can host are my family. No. As long as, we can make a connection, try and be friends and all, I should be able to comfortably host you for a few months before you become independent, which is the same thing you can do as well, and any other person.
So for anyone who feels like they really want to come here and they have no one to maybe to get them the help,
Reach out.
you can reach out. Just leave us a comment there, and we'll be able to maybe get in touch, and we can connect you to, because we know at least a number of people here. Yeah, there's a network here basically.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get a job when you got here?
Fun fact: when I got here, I wrote a CV for myself, and I dropped it in almost every single building in the town that we live in. I wasn't discriminating of jobs. I wasn't choosing what I want to do. You do that, you choose the kind of things you can do, you're gonna fail. You're not gonna go anywhere. But if you decide that you're not going to discriminate against any job, you have a better chance.
Yeah,
Because
true.
I put applications in restaurants. I put applications in um, cleaning. And I started off as a cleaner. I started off as a dishwasher. I started off. I was doing a mix of stuff. I worked in a restaurant for 2 years. For the entire time I was in campus, I worked in a restaurant and an abattoir. So I was doing both laboring job and doing a dishwashing and cleaning, and I cleaned everything. I was washing and cleaning everything. I'm putting that in tags because
So,
I know there's conversations in whispers about what people do abroad. Trust me, yes, I did everything.
so if you are planning to come here, be ready to be open-minded. Be
Yeah.
ready to just do any job that you'll get on your way, because there are so many jobs here, and before you settle on the job that you really want to, it will take time.
Yeah.
So be ready and be flexible to get to do any
do anything.
odd job that
And,
you, it
and
will
you
just
know
come
what,
your way.
Alex? The
Yeah.
thing is, it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Even back home in Kenya, you just, well, sometimes you may be lucky and just go and straight into a good job.
Yeah.
But for most people, it's a process. You start from a fairly not so good job and
Yeah.
then keep going up the ladder slowly. Sometimes you don't get that opportunity, but in most people, I mean, for most people, that's how the process is.
Very
So it's the
true.
same thing here. You come here, you start off very lowly, but over time you get comfortable with that job or another job, or better opportunities come up. Yeah. So you have to trust the process. You have to
Yeah.
trust the process. It's gonna get better.
So one fact with Australia is you have to be straightforward. That's one thing, and you have to be able to be. You have to be very flexible. At the
I was-
moment,
yeah.
Elvis is a quality assurance officer.
Yeah.
You know, he's working in one of the best offices in Canberra, and that's why he's here today.
Goulburn, yeah.
He came here for training.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a work training. Yeah.
that's a process.
Yeah.
It
So you
took
trust the
that-
process.
Yeah, trust the process, and it will take you far.
Because if my mindset was I'm cleaning, I'm mopping floors and cleaning toilets at the end of the day, if my attitude was, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this, then probably I wouldn't be here, because I wouldn't have
Exactly.
finished school and I wouldn't have went on and try and get better and grab better opportunities that keep coming. You know.
True.
So that's really an encouragement people should get, that they should open their mind, be open-minded. People might talk, but you better know what you have to know what you are doing, and then you can push yourself towards that target and care less about what everybody else says. You know, you have to be a very determined
Very
person,
focused and
very
determined.
focused and determined.
Exactly. You are now here, you're working. How were you able to manage studies? Because you already graduated, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how are you able to manage your studies and work at the same time?
Yeah, I know you agree with me, Felix. We won't lie. It's very hectic. It's
Of
very
course, it
hard
is.
to study and
Yep.
to work at the same time.
Yeah.
And I mean, raise school fees. You're not just working for experience. No, you're working to save money to pay the
Pay
school
school
fees,
fees. Whoa.
and you're studying at the same time. So
I know.
it's a lot, but it's very possible.
Okay, let's keep going so that we don't lose track of our conversation.
Okay.
You're done with school. So was it really? How were you able to manage at least?
I think like I said, I was very determined.
Yeah.
I wanted to really finish school, because I knew how much it was hectic. I was feeling it, because like I said, I was doing 2 jobs.
Yep.
And I was doing school, so I had to do my assignments in time. I had to attend classes, and I live in Goulburn, which is 1 hour away from where my school was. So I had to drive back and forth
Yep.
some days, and some days I would spend where my school is. I would find a friend there and spend there. But before that, I mean, looking back at that, I know it could be hectic, but it's very possible, because what I would do is I would study very, very, very intensely when I'm at school,
Yeah.
because I know when I go back home, I'll be working,
You'll be working,
or I'll
exactly.
be doing something different, and I don't have enough hours to do that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're a human being who has a social life, who has many things that you have to bring together. So it's just absolute self-discipline and determination.
I really understand that, because I've
You've
been
been
there
through
and
it.
I'm still there. Actually, I'm still studying.
Yeah.
And it's
You're almost
been a
done,
journey.
though.
I'm got 1 month to go, but
Yeah.
it's been really hectic, and
Yeah.
just you have to be determined, because eventually you'll just have that freedom after clearing
Yeah.
your studies.
Yeah.
So you are now done with studies. You graduated.
Graduated, yeah.
So what have you been doing since then?
I've been working full time now after I finished school. So I dropped one of the job I was doing, and I'm working. I am now full time quality assurance manager at the company that I started off as a laborer. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now full time, and also keen to start a family. So
Oh.
yeah, I'm lucky enough.
Talking about family, I remember you came back to Kenya
Yeah.
to do a wedding and all that 7 months after moving to Australia.
Yes.
How was it? Because I can imagine you in Australia for 7 months, then coming back home
Yeah.
to do a wedding. You still struggling here, school and school fees and all that. How was it for you?
Let's talk about love.
Yeah, I
So
know.
that's where it starts. So
Yeah.
I was very determined. Yes, that there's one lady who really she spent my head around really a lot,
Yeah.
and yeah, we really wanted to be together. So she was back in Kenya and I was here, and I took advantage of the fact that if you're a master's student, you're allowed to bring your spouse.
Yeah.
And so I did not hesitate. I did that. I made an application. It's a whole process by itself.
Yeah.
And we made the first visa application, and we got rejected.
What?
It
So
got rejected.
before going there,
Yes.
take us back a little bit. Are you able to tell us, because you talked about master students,
Yeah.
they have that opportunity of bringing their spouses.
Spouse, yeah.
How is the process as well? Anyone who's back home and they're already married,
Yeah.
they got family, kids, is it possible for them to have the whole family coming here?
Yes, very possible. If you're coming to study postgraduate degree, I think for most courses you're eligible to bring your spouse, and they will feature in as a secondary applicant in your visa. They will be entitled to the same entitlements you have,
Yep.
unless that has changed recently. But as according to what I know and when I did apply,
Yep.
you're entitled to the same, like working hours and all. It's all similar.
Yep.
So if you're at home and you're married already and you're planning to apply for school, make sure you enlist your family in your application.
Yep.
That way, when you already get here, if you don't come with them, you should be able to apply for them to join you.
Yeah.
In some scenarios, you'll be able to apply one-off and they come with you at the same time. It varies from, I think, situation to situation. It depends on how you put your case. Yeah, but if you're married, I advise you to make sure you enlist your family, your wife and your kids. If you have any kids as well and you're not married, maybe you make sure you put your family down. That way, it becomes easier in subsequent visa applications to have them join you.
People who are married or who have partners here already, it's always so easy for them to manage school fees and bills and all that, because
Two is
one
better
person
than
is one person is going to school, the other one is working full time. So you see, it's easier for both of you to be able to manage. So it's the best option is if you're able to apply for your spouse or your partner when you're applying for your visa. That's the best option.
Yeah.
You're able to move here together. But I think that will be a topic on its own.
Yeah, it's
also
a
for
whole
kids,
different,
yeah, it's
very
a whole
big
different thing. So I think I'll be getting my agent who applied for me. We shall be
Rather
having
more informed.
more informed information
about that, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just put that aside for today.
Yeah.
So you're done with school. Your spouse is here. How has life been now since then?
It's been alright. Like it's been good. Like we're living in a regional town,
Good.
so we're away from the buzz of the city. We're away from all the business that you know how it's all busy, traffic jams and everything.
Yeah. Melbourne.
Yeah,
If
so-
you're coming to Melbourne.
Yeah, it could be hectic sometime
Yeah.
in the city. So for us, we're staying out in the countryside, and yeah, I could say life has been alright. Life's been good. We're enjoying, and like I said, we just came to start a family now.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
All the best.
thank you.
I think that has been really a very nice conversation, and for anyone who come across this video,
Yeah.
I believe that will be very informative and very encouraging video. So, Elvis, can you get into this camera and tell someone who will be watching this video, tell them something.
Okay. So, if you're watching us today, I hope you're picking the little. I hope you're picking something from the whole conversation we're having. We may not be professionals per se, but we've been through the process. There's a lot that you could pick from this to just help you kickstart the process. There's a lot that you could pick from this just to broaden your base of information where you can make better decisions with it. So my best advice, don't after watching our videos, don't just go ahead and start applying for a visa or anything, but use the information that you've received from this, go to an agent as well, get more professional advice there, and then now start your visa application. Reach out to us if you need more information. I'm pretty sure Felix is okay with you putting in the comment section, and we'll reply as in the best way possible to every single situation that you guys will bring up. And what else? Yeah, it's a very good opportunity to come to the diaspora. It's, if you utilize it well, it's a life changer, it's a game changer. So if you're coming here, well, we're waiting for you. More than happy to host you.
Yeah.
So welcome for those who will be coming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that has been very informative conversation. And for anyone who will watch this, please consider subscribing so that you're able to get more information on this, and more videos will be coming. And soon I'll be hosting an agent who is in Nairobi, who will be able to give us more information about the process step by step on how to come to Australia.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. And
Just forgot to thank you for the platform that you've created, because it's a very good platform, Felix, and keep doing this. We keep supporting
Thank you
you
very
from
much.
however way we can, and I know you're changing lives.
thank you very much for accepting my request for you to be here, and I really appreciate that. And thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye bye.